And we're back. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to AutoTalksUS. My name is Igor. Got a lot of cool stuff going on today. The Porsche Cup car is now in development for the 2026 season. The Coldplay incident, absolutely hilarious. Andy Byron resigns. And Cadillac Formula One, very close to naming their driver pairing. So we got a lot going on today's episode. Lots to talk about, guys. Stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. Excited to be here. So the first thing I wanted to start with is Porsche. Porsche is developing the 992.2 Cup car. They've been spotted, I think, testing it actually. Where was that? I don't remember the track, but again, that flat six roar, 9,000 RPM, you know exactly what it sounds like when it's flying past you. I've actually been lucky enough to see these not just a Cup car, which is kind of the lowest series of not street legal Porsche race car. So Cup cars are available to customers through the Porsche customer racing program, you know, with race cars that their customers can just buy. Meaning it's not a team run car where it's all in-house, proprietary. It's got a full team, all Porsche employees, you know, collecting income checks from Porsche for doing the work. These are privateer companies, totally privately owned, that can go and visit a Porsche dealership, talk to a salesperson, and buy a race car. So those are the Cup cars that we're talking about right now. The 992.2 being the newest, coming in 2026 for the 2026 season. They actually started developing that car in January of 2024, according to Car and Driver. I wasn't aware of that. I, for some reason, just thought the development stages aren't that long. Just because a lot does change. Sometimes they're completely top to bottom design changes, mechanical changes, you know, new gearboxes, new engines. Maybe they change suspension, or maybe they change, you know, brake supply or something like that. Go from, you know, Brembo to AP, which I'm just using as an example. But in this case, it looks really, really cool. It was spotted wearing full camouflage. You see the roll cage in the back. You know, Michelin Cup wheels. Everything seems pretty standard. It looks like a GT3 RS, but more aggressive. We still don't really know too much about it, but Porsche has confirmed that it's got new electronics, new brakes, new transmission, and new engine. So we're super excited to see the 992.2 generation of the Cup car, because the 992.1, they do great. They compete in the Mobil 1 Super Cup Series. They compete in Carrera Cup. All of these are series that I actually watch just because, you know how if you have like a Formula 1 TV subscription, right before or even in between sessions, there's usually Porsche Cup and Formula 1 Academy, Formula 2, Formula 3, and Formula 4. So there's several different series that race on a Formula 1 weekend in between the highlight events. So I love watching Porsche Cup. It's super cool. The balance of performance is pretty much across the board. It's like 20 or 25 cars that are identical in performance, and it's really just up to the drivers. It's super fun watching them race because they're not nearly as fast as open wheel race cars. I mean, even a Formula 4 car is probably faster than a Porsche Cup car, but that's what makes it fun to watch, is they're always wheel to wheel. You never just have like 10 to 20 minutes of racing that are boring. In Formula 1, unfortunately, out of an hour long or hour and 25 minute long standard race without incident, if there's incident, it can be upwards of 2 hours, but hour and 25 minutes, you're going to have maybe like 10 total minutes worth of action on an average day. Maybe 50% of the race will be exciting on the best circumstances, and then on the worst circumstances, you have races that just literally nothing happens. And so that's kind of not the thing with Porsche Cup. Is they're all driving the same cars. They all want to win, and there's a lot at stake. I mean, Porsche's been around forever, not just in motorsport, but just as an automotive manufacturer for probably 100 years. I think of Ferdinand Porsche. I know he stopped building cars in order to build military equipment for Hitler. So he was building cars prior to 39. And since it's 2025 right now, yeah, it wouldn't be unreasonable to think that Ferdinand Porsche Porsche's been around. Let's see, Porsche founding. Because if you guys will remember, 1931. There we go. So it's important to remember, actually, just I'm not going to go into too much detail about this, but Porsche didn't start with the car that everyone knows as like the upgraded Volkswagen Beetle 911 in the late 50s or 60s. I mean, Porsche was building some strange cars. I want to say, and I swear, I'm not even, never mind. I'm going to Google it. Porsche Ferdinand Porsche electric car. He was the first. Yes, here we go. In 1898, Ferdinand Porsche designed the Egger Lohner C2 Phaeton. Was powered by an octagonal electric motor with 3 to 5. You guys, there's a reason why I wanted to do this podcast, is because for some reason, and I don't know why, I read stuff, it sticks with me. So 3 years ago, when I was driving to Sonoma from the hotel or from the Airbnb, it's a long drive. It's like a 2-hour long drive because the Airbnb we got a great deal on it, and the racetrack is in the middle of nowhere in wine country, literally in the middle of nowhere in wine country. You're just driving, and I remember, oh my gosh, we got up so early, like 6 o'clock in the morning. It was all dewy, like you can't see much in front of you. It's just these hills of wine vineyards. Just to kind of paint the picture, it's kind of like it's got this bluish purplish haze. The sun hasn't fully come out yet, and so you just see these vineyards. And I was listening to a podcast. I don't remember the name of the podcast. This was 3 years ago, but they were talking about Porsche. They were talking about Ferdinand Porsche and how in the late 1800s, pretty much 1900, there was this principled system called the Lohner Porsche system, and it was it was like the hub of the wheel almost had these transistors or some kind of electric motors on them, and so the actual wheel spinning would produce battery power. The top speed, I think, was like 32 kilometers per hour, which is not fast. I mean, you're talking 20 miles per hour. But this was 1900, meaning 125 years ago. And so, of course, later on, there's pictures of this thing on newsroom.porsche.com, article written in 2024. There's pictures of this thing. And so it's just, it looks like the lunar moon buggy kind of from NASA, circa early 60s. But again, 1989 to 1900, this was the car. And then Ferdinand Porsche later on, he stopped building cars. First of all, he did not want to join the war effort. Ferdinand Porsche was not a war effort guy. I think that he had a lot of respect from the German parliamentary and the Chancellor Hitler. I think they all respected Ferdinand Porsche because he represented the country and the fatherland, or the fatherland, whatever they call it. I don't know what the Nazis called it, but I don't remember. And so he was very, very appreciated by the Nazis, and I don't think he was pressured into pausing his cars. I think he realized that as a patriot, he needed to help, especially since he can build vehicles. And so I think, I'm not looking any of this up. You guys don't hear me typing, and we don't have a producer on the show yet. That's desperately something that we need as a producer and a studio. And so what I'm trying to say is, like, he wasn't a war effort guy. He wanted to make vehicles, and so he temporarily stopped making consumer vehicles, and he did help the Nazis by building tanks, I think. and then he very quickly went back to building cars. I'm glad that Ferdinand Porsche was a guy that existed, and I'm glad that he did what he was able to do. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. He died in 1951. Sadly, he was already 75 years old. I mean, when the guy created the electric car, he was 26. So he was very much like a Elon Musk type of the day. So he created the first gasoline electric hybrid vehicle. I just see this as a note. Pretty epic. And anyway, I know we got derailed talking about Ferdinand Porsche and the Second World War, but anyway, tying it all back, the 2026 racing season is going to be unbelievable. If you guys get a chance to go to your local Porsche dealership, I highly encourage you to stop by. Tell them that you're interested in hearing about the racing program. Say, hey, I listened to this podcast called AutoTalksUS. They talk about how Porsche has a customer racing program. That's really cool. I'd love to learn about that. Do you guys have any Cup cars back there, maybe that are being prepped? You never know. I think dealerships are really receptive to people taking interest in what they do for their customers, and Porsche especially will never close their doors on you if you are interested in learning more about the programs that they have. Now, this is nuts. Can we just take a second and talk about the Coldplay thing? What in the world? I mean, talk about bad timing. Camera pans over. You're caught with egg on your face, and not just egg on your face, but also your HR lady's hair. That's bad news. First of all, why the HR lady? They're usually not funny. They usually don't have good sense of humors due to the nature of their trade. Come on, my guy. You're the CEO of Astronomer. You can do better. I'm not advocating for cheating. I'm certainly not saying that he was in the right, but dude, you went to a Coldplay concert. You probably paid for expensive tickets. You should have expected somebody to notice you. I mean, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing, guy? As of yesterday, July 19th, he has issued a resignation statement, obviously. So whatever benefits I think the company is going to get from these news and all the publicity, I doubt he's going to actually benefit from that. As a matter of fact, he's probably staring down the barrel of divorce. Yeah, not good. I'm just wondering, like, just from a just like a generic perspective, I guess, from the outside looking in, when you have that much to lose, when you're the CEO of a company like Astronomer, like, why? I mean, you have it all together, it seems. And I've been watching this show. Well, no, actually. So I've been watching this show called Friends and Neighbors. It's got John Hamm, who's one of my favorites. Ever since I saw Curb Your Enthusiasm, I can never just call him John. You have to say John Hamm, and you have to say John Hamm as if it's one word, because one, it's funnier, and two, he's just John Hamm. So this show, Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm, it's got not a lot of other people that I recognize. As a matter of fact, for me being like a film kind of buff kind of dude, and like I like TV shows and stuff, and you know, all that kind of crap, like I don't recognize a lot of other people in that series. However, John Hamm is amazing. I mean, you guys remember Mad Men. This kind of stuff makes me a mad effing man. So he basically is this wealthy hedge fund guy. He's a hedge fund guy. He hits it off with somebody, you know, somebody else finds out, he gets fired from his job, and then they go after him, they try to sue him. Well, here's the thing, the person that he got with, she didn't even work in his department or for him or anything. There was no hierarchy involvement. There was nothing that HR would have been blah 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 about. But anyway, so I don't want to ruin the show. There's a lot to it. It's crazy stuff that kind of reflects on people at this level, these CEOs, and what they got going on in their personal life. And pretty much as soon as I read the story that the board will begin a search for our next CEO and stuff like that, I was like, oh my god, that show is kind of, and it's a new show too. You guys should watch Friends and Neighbors. I'll probably leave a link to the trailer on YouTube in the description or something. But it just reminded me of that. So I guess the moral of this story, if there even is anything to get out of this, is just don't cheat. Just don't cheat. If you're gonna go to a Coldplay show for whatever reason, FYI, take your kid. Take your kid's friends or something. I don't know. Take the ice cream guy or girl. Just don't don't cheat on your significant others. Don't treat people bad. That's just not great. It's not. Yeah, just don't. And don't go to Coldplay concerts either. I guarantee this wouldn't have happened if he went to, I don't know, Nirvana. Well, no. Why can't I think of music? I don't know. But yeah, it's not related to automotive at all. I don't even know why we're talking about this story on this show, other than just how bizarre it is. I had it open as a tab on my computer, and when I popped open my computer to look at the Porsche stuff, it was there. But the next story I wanted to talk about was Cadillac. Everyone knows that the big news in Formula One. I'm going to be reading some stuff from Crash.net. They're covering the Cadillac driver shootout for 2026 pretty closely. I didn't realize there was more than 4 drivers. I was aware of Mick Schumacher being one of them. That's a given. He's in contention. He's racing for Alpine in the WEC at the moment. And so they've seen his high performance. I mean, they're absolutely crushing. At least I think they're crushing. However, I don't know that there's that much benefit of Mick being in the consideration. It's okay to have him in the consideration in the running, as long as we maturely look at everyone equally. Okay, we did this once before at the highest level in racing in Formula One with Mick Schumacher. We've done this once. We gave him a Haas. The Haas, for what it's worth at the time when he was racing, was a terrible car. But you can only use that excuse a few times, okay? Just a few times. It cannot be your career definition. So, that being said, another candidate is Valtteri Bottas. Now, Valtteri Bottas, this is a fascinating choice. The guy has over 240 race starts. He's like Nico Hülkenberg, kind of. Nico Hülkenberg and him both started around the same time. So it's same with Kevin Magnussen, but because Kevin Magnussen's already missed, 30 to 40, 45 plus races, probably not a good candidate to consider, even though I love the guy. I also love Nico. Nico's still racing. He's going to be with Sauber, Audi. So Bottas, 100%. Yeah, he was my choice 2 months ago. He's my choice now. Still, there's 2 seats. So I personally want Valtteri in that seat. And Loudon, the guy kind of running the program, I think. What's his name? I don't remember off the top of my head, but they've spoken before. I remember watching an interview when Valtteri said, nothing's impossible. Right now I'm just with his mullet. It's awesome. Just guy's such a stud, but they have a bunch of stuff to talk about. I think Valtteri's been on the sideline watching the entire season of 2025 develop, watch. He's a reserve driver, probably does a lot of sim time. I guarantee you he is much, much more hot and ready than Mick. Now, of course, Schumacher and Bottas together, there could be something there, because the first time Mick's Schumacher was Nikita Mazepin. I mean, dude. So his performance could change if he had a teammate with 246 race starts and a race winner, somebody that was partnered up with Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion. So there could be something there. Another driver I think in the contention is Sergio Perez. That's a no-brainer. Cadillac. There's a lot of connections there. They are talking to him. They've confirmed it multiple times. But there's also a lot of F2 drivers that are going to be cheaper. Felipe Drugovich, Fred Vesti, the list goes on. This is all according to Crash.net. There's a lot of people in the race for this seat. My personal predictions, my personal predictions is going to be a mixture between a Formula One star and a star from another series. It doesn't have to necessarily be Formula 2. I think they're going to pick Valtteri Bottas and somebody from IndyCar. Why IndyCar, Igor? Well, IndyCar's got stupid, what are they called? Stellar driver lineups. Like, if you look at IndyCar, you got Joseph Newgarden, people like, Colton, what's his, dang it, Herta? Yeah. Would love to see him in that seat. There's just a lot of drivers in IndyCar right now who are excellent picks for a team like Cadillac, because you have to think Cadillac is purely American. It would be nice to have maybe not an American driver lineup, but at least drivers who race for American manufacturers. And in which case, Andretti's got Colton. That would be fantastic with Valtteri Bottas filling in that very experienced Formula One driver slot. Regardless of where they go with one seat, the other will 150,000% be taken by a experienced Formula One driver. Like, you're going to see not just a regular Formula One driver like Mick Schumacher. You're going to see, in particular, an extremely experienced one take one of those seats, and then the other person will probably be either young or from another category. That's just my opinion. I don't think they're going to pull a retiree. I don't think they're going to pull Perez out of retirement or out of whatever he's doing. I don't even know what he's doing, because the last thing that Sergio Perez posted on Instagram was some fake AI generated video that said nothing. It was the weirdest thing. Like, I almost thought he got hacked, but it was Perez actually. That was him. That was his video, but it was just such a weird, stupid, low quality, like, AI Evo 3 thing. Is really weird, like, just super weird. And so I don't know what he's been up to. Regardless, it's going to be crazy to see Cadillac as a Formula One team. Never in my life had I expected it, but it kind of makes sense. The cars are going to be slower for 2026 by several seconds. Lewis Hamilton even said that based on his experience on the simulator with the 2026 cars, he is a little bit disappointed. They're dumbing it down. It's more of a media spectacle. It's got all this bureaucracy, and Mohammed bin Sulayem hasn't been doing them any favors over at the FIA. It's just, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm still holding out. I'm still hopeful that the Formula One I remember from back in the days is going to return at some point, but probably not likely. I think this is kind of where we're headed. Changing drivers every week, it seems like. I don't know. That to me has been a little odd. Let me know what you guys think, actually. Maybe leave a comment and let me know what you think as far as, like, has Formula One really changed that much, or is it just me? To me, it definitely sounds like it's a different type of sport now. And I get it. Things evolve, right? Everything evolves. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same. You got to move the molecules for a chemical reaction to happen. And so I guess that's just how life is. Good time to shift gears a little bit. When's the last time you bought a new car or even a used car? A lot of thoughts went through your head. Probably, do I need a down payment? How much? Am I trading this car in? Should I sell it? What's the market like? Facebook Marketplace, dealership? Do we want the tax credit? There's 1,010,072 questions that go through a person's mind when they buy and sell vehicles. It's just part of human nature. The reason that we are in the business that we're in is because a lot of our friends and family have been in that same situation, including us and myself as well. The show is brought to you guys by IEPconsultingsolutions.com. What we do is help folks strategize their next play. Whether it's buying or selling, sitting down and building a strategy around what your motivations are and what your goals are, and then coming up with a solution to do it in the most cost-effective way to save as much as possible. The economy today is very, very tough. You don't have an extra $4,000 to give a dealership just because they felt like asking for it. There's a way around everything. There's a way to do things the right way. shipping a car directly to your door shouldn't be a hassle, and yet it oftentimes is. So again, iepconsultingsolutions.com. Fill out the form. Let us know what problems you're running into, what you need help with. We'll sit down, we'll strategize, and for pennies on the dollar, going to have you on your way saving thousands. So with that being said, guys, this has been another episode of AutoTalksUS. I really didn't have too much to talk about today just because, scratch that. Yes, we do. Yesterday was the Harvest Hall event hosted by the Octane Rally guys. Kobe, shout out. What a crazy show. So, per usual, there's hundreds of people that show out to this thing. It's on a beautiful, beautiful plaza at the Harvest Hall train station in Grapevine, I think it's called. I don't actually know the neighborhood, but I think it's Grapevine. It's called Harvest Hall train station or whatever. Oh my gosh, that event every single time. I think it's just because the cars are parked around a fountain. There's always kids running around. It's just such a vibe. And so went inside. I got some pizza. After my friend had left. Shout out Michelle. It's great. We were walking around. People were taking pictures of the Porsches everywhere. And yeah, it was just a fantastic time. It was on a Saturday evening, which is great because it had to be rescheduled. It was actually supposed to be a week prior, but it was raining and all this sort of stuff. So nothing there. Oh, by the way, big news, guys! I forgot to mention earlier on in the show. So, well, actually, we're gonna save it for next week. Yeah. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about here, but I can't find it. The flooding, guys. As you all know, in Texas, there was tons of just really, really chaotic flooding that happened recently. It seems like we stopped talking about it entirely. I sure haven't. So there in Kerrville, there are a lot of dogs at the moment who need homes. I encourage you guys to all visit different Kerrville animal rescue websites and just see what you can do. I'm involved with Happy Forever. Happy Forever is a animal sanctuary here in Pilot Point, Texas. It's a 22-acre farm that's been around for about 6 years. They rescue dogs. They've got a horse or two on site. Some of these dogs are up for adoption. Some of them, this is their forever home. This is a beautiful, beautiful sanctuary in Texas, and I'm involved with them just to in any way I can to help some of these dogs find new homes. And of course, if you are in Kerrville and you are involved with a rescue, or you yourself have a dog that needs either a temporary or unfortunately and oftentimes a permanent place to stay, definitely reach out. happyforever.org. Happy Forever, for like FUR ever.org. I encourage you to check us out. If at the adopt icon, you'll see some animals there. All of these dogs need homes. They are beautiful. I go out there at least once a week. Ricky, Dicky, Bandit, Diva, Nubby, Sky, Patches. It's fantastic. They all need a home. Ricky and Dicky are the funniest little dudes. These two tiny little labs. Sky, she's a beautiful mixed breed husky type shepherd. Tons of energy. She's hilarious. She's white. She loves to swim. Lots of really, really, really amazing pups over there. So check out happyforever.com, guys. Get involved in the local community. For those of you in Kerrville, Texas, in Kerrville County, if there's anything we can do for you guys, please reach out. We do have a contact form there. We're only a phone call away. Whatever you guys need, we're there for you. With that being said, this has been another episode of Auto Talks US. It has been such a phenomenal episode. I can't wait for Cadillac to be a team this season. Literally cannot wait. So it's going to be exciting to see a 11th. I still haven't figured out. Are they 11th team, or is someone being replaced? It would be cool to see them as an 11th team. So we'll see what happens there. We're right around 29 minutes. I like to keep these things under half an hour just because I know It's a lot of information all at once. I want to keep this light and fun, but leave a comment. Let us know what you guys want to hear about next time, what kind of news you're hearing about. Stay loyal out there. Don't get yourself caught at Coldplay. It's not a fun thing, I'm sure, so watch out for that. But as always, love you guys. Thank you for listening. Auto Talks US has been another fantastic episode, and we'll see you next time.